The night before the wedding, Ethan's ex-girlfriend called. I took the pills. They'll kick in half an hour. If you don't come, I'll sleep with someone else. I grabbed Ethan's arm, snarling, "Take one step out that door and I'll neuter you." He shoved me to the floor, already reaching for his keys. "Stop being dramatic." I smirked and dialed his business rival. "Free the day after tomorrow? Let's get married. Sit tight while I steal the marriage license." At exactly 10 p.m., insistent ringing echoed from the living room. I glanced up from prenup documents toward the running shower. Ethan always took 40-minute showers, his sacred ritual. We'd long abandoned privacy between us, routinely checking each other's phones. Besides, the wedding was in 2 days. What's mine is his. Legally speaking. The unknown number kept vibrating. Heavy bass thumped through the receiver when I answered. "Wrong number," I muttered, finger hovering over end call. "Ethan." I changed my mind. A tearful voice pierced through club noise. "Marrying Emily to spite me hurts both of us. Propose again, I'll say yes this time. Please?" The background music faded as if she'd entered some VIP lounge. Silence stretched between two women holding their breath, one trembling with hope, the other choking on absurdity. My thumb whitened against the prenup's third clause about infidelity penalties. "Whose call?" Ethan emerged with toweled damp hair, water droplets tracing his collarbones. I wordlessly tapped speakerphone. "Ethan? I'm at Golden Elite Club. Gave myself 25 minutes. Come fix this, or I'll find another man to." The towel slipped from Ethan's grip. He lunged for the phone, thumb jabbing the red icon 3 times before succeeding. I leaned back, watching panic ripple beneath his Ivy League composure like alligator through swamp water. Probably Daniel's idea of a prank. He scoffed, though his Adam's apple bobbed. Bachelor party shenanigans. "Go to bed, they'll keep me out late." I blocked the walk-in closet entrance. "Mr." 3 mirror checks before leaving was yanking mismatched shirts and wrinkled slacks from hangers. Daniel's Instagram story shows him in a hospital bed with leg cast. "Your bachelor party group chat's been dead since Tuesday." My voice turned arctic. "Either your ex suddenly needs emergency dick, or you're lying through those veneers." Ethan froze mid-button, reflection avoiding mine in the full-length mirror. After struggling for a moment, I forced out stiffly, "I'll explain everything when I get back. I can't watch her self-destruct like this, at least not because of me." My voice hardened. "I'll return after taking her to the hospital. This won't affect tomorrow's wedding." Ethan brushed past me when I suddenly grabbed his arm. His gaze turned razor-sharp as I warned, "Take one step toward her, and I'll break both your legs." The standoff shattered when his phone rang again, the hotel staff this time. "Mr. Sullivan? Your friend seems to be, sir. Please stop undressing." Ethan's breath hitched. He wrenched his arm free. "Enough of your hysterics." The sudden movement sent me sprawling across the floor. Blood welled from scraped skin as I hissed through clenched teeth. "Ethan!" He half turned, conflict flashing across his features. But the relentless buzzing in his pocket decided for him. Grabbing his keys from the foyer table, he threw over his shoulder. "First aid kits in the left cabinet. I'll be back soon." The slam of the door echoed through the empty penthouse. Staring at my raw, bleeding arm, I pulled out my phone and dialed Ryan. "Ryan, clear your schedule the day after tomorrow. We're getting married." Dead silence stretched before explosive laughter crackled through the speaker. "Fuck me sideways. Hold tight. Princess, gonna go steal my household register right fucking now." At the traffic light intersection, Ryan kept sneaking glances until I snapped. "Spit it out already. You're twitchier than a sorority pledge." "Such elegance," he muttered, drumming fingers on the steering wheel. "Just wondering, which hospital are we crashing exactly?" True to his word, Ryan appeared at my doorstep 30 minutes later. His gaze immediately zeroed in on my bandaged forearm, jaw tightening briefly before adopting his usual careless drawl. I'd braced for mockery about the groom swap, prepared for his signature brand of ruthless teasing. Instead, he veered sharply off script. "Let's hit New York Presbyterian," he suggested as our car merged into Fifth Avenue traffic. "Might as well milk that future Mrs. Sullivan discount while it lasts." I stared at the blur of neon storefronts, tongue darting to chapped lips. "Get your PR team ready. I'm going live when we arrive." Ryan fished out a chocolate milk carton from the glove compartment, tossing it into my lap. "Cute. Announcing our whirlwind romance?" The smile that curved my lips felt arctic. More like catching cheaters in 4K. The ER visit passed in a blur. By midnight, Ryan was ushering me through the gilded doors of the plaza's private club suite, exploiting his ownership privileges to obtain Ethan's room number without hesitation. My thumb hovered over the live button as the elevator climbed. When the doors slid open, the unmistakable sounds of passion spilled out, accompanied by a voice I knew better than my own reflection. Ethan's breathing was uneven. "Luna. Stop. I'll take you to the hospital." So his ex was named Luna. I thought I remained calm, but my trembling hands betrayed my inner turmoil. Ryan reached from behind, steadying my live stream with a half-embracing gesture. On screen, Luna swayed drunkenly in Ethan's arms, laughing breathlessly. "You came after all. Knew you couldn't let me go. When I saw your wedding news, I went crazy, dropped the competition and flew back immediately. You married that Emily woman because her lips resemble mine. Because she paints like me. Loves musicals like me." She paused, triumphant. "Admit it. You've always loved me." "I still love you." Ethan said nothing, simply hooked an arm around Luna's waist and slammed her against the wall, crushing their lips together. Darkness suddenly engulfed my vision. Ryan leaned close, whispering at my ear, "Don't look. It's filthy." He shut down the live chat, scrolling rapidly with shocked comments, guiding me out gently. Harsh corridor lights illuminated Ryan's outrage as clear as daylight. He kept muttering curses, more agitated than me, the actual wronged party, amused yet touched. I patted his shoulder. "Take it easy." Everyone knew Ryan and Ethan clashed whenever they met. No one understood why. Only that Ethan had always been the model child others compared them to. If Ethan got Ryan beaten by family elders today, Ryan would personally ambush and pummel him tomorrow. That's why the wedding hall fell silent when Ryan appeared as groom. "Need me to direct the ceremony?" Ryan arched an eyebrow, smirking at the flustered officiant. "Ahem. Please welcome the bride." I slid the ring onto Ryan's finger. When my turn came, banquet hall doors swung open. I expected Ethan, but instead saw Daniel entering on crutches. Swish, Ryan jammed the ring onto my finger at lightning speed, forced to tear my gaze from the entrance. I met laughing eyes. "Wait. Isn't this your wedding with Ethan?" Daniel approached post-ceremony, still shell-shocked. "Ethan's busy. Probably in his ex's bed right now." My smile didn't reach my eyes. "Impossible," Daniel blurted. "Everyone knows Ethan cares for you. Last year during the kidnapping, he gave you the only escape route. He fell for you ages ago, sneaked overseas during your exchange year using business trips as excuses. Worried you'd hate foreign food. He learned cooking just for you. All these years. Only you." I cut off Ethan's apologist. He gave me the escape because his legs were broken. I had to run for help. Those business trips? Luna happened to be in those countries. I was the afterthought. Found that out yesterday. As for his cooking, 10 meals a year? Who's that for? I did plenty of stupid things for him too. Don't try guilt-tripping me. Since childhood, I'd been Ethan's shadow. Skipped classes in middle school to threaten girls approaching him. Neglected studies obsessing over him until my family exiled me overseas. Only returning for college. I didn't want to argue further. So I directly projected last night's recording. Starting from the moment the door was pushed open, all the way to the ambiguous, tangled noises. Daniel shut his mouth and left awkwardly. Luna's appearance tore through Ethan's polished facade like sharp claws, exposing the rotting core beneath. That night, after showering, I lay face down on the bed in silk pajamas. My phone screen lit up with messages from my best friend. You have no idea how satisfying the online backlashes. The Sullivan Group's stocks have crashed. But why did you go to Ryan? I can't believe he agreed to help. Did you too? I typed, they're sworn rivals. Of course he'd jump at any chance to mess with that jerk Ethan. It's all an act, we didn't actually, the message never sent. A hand reached over my head and snatched the phone. I turned to see Ryan hovering above me, completely naked. He skimmed the screen with a bored glance before tossing the phone aside. His gaze locked onto mine, one eyebrow arched. From my angle, I could see his sharp jawline, the dip of his Adam's apple, the defined chest, the sculpted abs. My eyes darted away, clearing my throat. I muttered, "Your hair's dripping on me." As I squirmed, the silk slipped off one shoulder, exposing pale skin. Ryan's eyes darkened instantly. He pinned my wrists above my head. "Who said anything about acting?" His voice roughened. "Be good and take it." I became a boat adrift in stormy seas, tossed by relentless waves. Exhausted, I fell asleep afterward. When my phone rang hours later, I barely registered Ethan's enraged roar through the haze. "Touch Emily and you're dead." The morning after the wedding, I was shaken awake. A face loomed inches from mine. Startled, I jerked backward and immediately winced as soreness shot through me. "Stay still. I'll massage it." In the quiet bedroom, I lay face down while Ryan worked methodically. His hands were firm yet careful, lulling me back toward sleep. "Don't drift off yet, sweetheart. We've got urgent business." His husky voice at my ear sent shivers down my spine. Teeth grazed my earlobe, resurrecting memories of last night's chaos. "Let go," I hissed, flushing. "And stop calling me that." "Understood, wife." He switched terms so smoothly I wondered if the previous endearment had been a trick. Blinking, I remembered, "Shouldn't you be at work?" Ryan, now dressed in a white shirt and black sliders that highlighted his broad shoulders and narrow waist, shot me a look. "Forgot last night's deal already?" Last night. His relentless negotiations had left me no choice but to surrender. "Get up and get dressed. We're going to the courthouse." "Right." Ryan forced me to get married last night. From the beginning, I told him this wedding was just a business signal. He didn't need to steal his household registry. Ryan agreed way too easily. Sitting in the car, I suddenly felt like prey willingly leaping into a hunter's trap. With 40% suspicion, 30% shock, and 10% panic, I asked Ryan, "You're not actually into me, are you?" "Obviously. You just noticed?" Ryan answered casually, snapping me back to reality. Who was Ryan? The illegitimate son recognized by his family in high school. Our circle said the Thompsons would just pay him off after he turned 18. Yet this universally dismissed guy seized full control of the family empire on his 18th birthday. His words meant nothing. I warned myself again not to misinterpret kindness. Ryan went to park while I waited outside the courthouse. The scorching sun worsened my mood, and Ethan's arrival poured gasoline on the fire. He looked haggard, even with foundation. The dark circles under his eyes screamed exhaustion. "Luna really did a number on you," I remarked coldly. Seeing me, Ethan's dull eyes lit up like desert springs reviving cracked earth. I sneered internally, turning to escape this human-shaped curse. Footsteps closed in behind me. "Damn these heels," He caught up instantly, grabbing my wrist. He pleaded hoarsely, "Emily, I know I messed up. If I kneel right now, would you forgive me?" Those hopeful eyes locked onto mine. "Then kneel." My blunt response stunned him mid-grip. I tilted my chin. "Well, kneel." His gaze turned painfully tender. "Emily, if I do this, will we either kneel or leave? You think I'll hesitate?" I pried at his fingers. Disgusted. "Trash belongs in dumpsters. Stop polluting my air." Ethan always preferred gentle, obedient girls. I'd played that role perfectly. What a joke. The harder I struggled, the tighter he gripped, trying to silence me with a forced hug like old times. A fist smashed into his jaw before contact. Ryan stormed over, fury radiating like a dragon guarding its treasure. "Get your filthy hands off my wife. You toad. What a man!" I barely suppressed the cheer rising in my throat. He moved too fast, Ethan's tongue pressed against the bruised side of his face, glaring venomously at Ryan. "Sweetheart, keep this safe." Ryan shoved pristine documents into my hands without creasing a single page. By the time I looked up, the two men had become snarling beasts locked in combat. Luna arrived to find Ethan's face marred. Her delicate features immediately twisted in distress as she whirled toward me. "Emily, does this satisfy your vanity? Watching two exceptional men brawl over you? Ethan only stayed with you out of obligation, his heart constantly yearning for true love. Now that he's finally free, must you still cling to him like some pathetic leech?" The white sundress clung to Luna's willowy frame, her dewy eyes and trembling lips completing the picture of wounded innocence. I heard the crowd's murmurs of disapproval, saw the triumphant smirk she quickly hid behind a tissue. My interest sharpened. "You must be excellent at flipping pancakes," I remarked, "given how skillfully you scramble the truth. My family funded your education, yet you seduced my fiancé before our wedding. Now you dare slander me publicly? That's Olympic-level audacity. May all your wishes come true." We both know what that means. Our charitable foundation had supported one student annually since high school. Mother believed we'd bond over shared interests: art exhibitions, Broadway musicals. Turned out Luna had meticulously mirrored my tastes. But how? I'd been abroad throughout secondary school. Rich girls like you never understand. Luna's tearful protest snapped me back. "You're too accustomed to flattery to hear hard truths. Those funds were meant for education, not home-wrecking tutorials." I restrained a seething Ryan, fingers brushing the bruise forming on his jaw. "We're done here today. Let's go." As we passed Ethan, his voice cracked. "Emily, it hurts." Last New Year's Eve flashed through my mind, him tipsily bumping into furniture, me fussing over the slightest scrape. "You've got lower pain tolerance than most. Why aren't you more careful?" I'd scolded while dabbing antiseptic. The memory of our private world, warm against the winter night. "Does it hurt?" I'd whispered then. "Yes." He'd murmured, nuzzling my palm with that rare, vulnerable smile that always melted me. Now I met his hopeful gaze squarely. "Ethan," I said, walking past without breaking stride, "you've become pathetic. Still playing the victim? Didn't you hear your little sweetheart Emily say I bullied her? After just sleeping with me last night, couldn't you at least pretend to defend me?" Ryan chuckled, taking over the conversation. There's always a difference between free samples and hard-won treasures. Seeing my indifference, Ethan gritted his teeth and turned to attack Ryan. "Ryan, dare you tell Emily how you took over the Thompson family? Let her know how ruthless you are, exploiting your birth mother for inheritance, even betraying the grandmother who raised you." Slap! My palm struck Ethan's face before I realized it. The cathartic sting finally released the tension in my chest. Ethan stared at me, stunned. I hadn't planned the slap. I just needed to silence him. Ryan stood pale, trapped in some private darkness. I dragged him away without looking back. Who cared about Ethan's accusations anyway? The car ride stretched in heavy silence. I wanted to pull Ryan from his brooding mood but realized how little I truly knew him. Having returned from studying abroad for college, I'd spent years chasing Ethan, exchanging nothing more than polite nods with Ryan at campus crossings or charity galas. Want to drink? I'll join you. Sorry. We spoke simultaneously. At the red light, he turned with a wry smile. Meant to let you rest after our courthouse appointment. Should have checked the almanac before waking you today. I rolled my eyes. Just take me home. If Ryan wanted to pretend nothing happened, I wouldn't push. Our marriage remained transactional. After all, he returned late, damp hair smelling of whiskey and cigarettes. Waiting up for me? He asked, leaning against the doorway. EW. You're not sleeping here tonight. I snapped, shutting my laptop. His laugh rumbled. Not here for that. Just giving updates, business trip for a week. Life stayed unchanged during Ryan's absence. The real nuisance was Ethan, who'd apparently lost his mind, neglecting his company to stalk me daily. Emily. His grip clamped my wrist as I exited the parking elevator. I recoiled. What's wrong with you? Any lingering fondness had curdled into pure rage these past weeks. If I carried a blade, I'd slash every Ethan-shaped hallucination. Emily. I know you and Ryan are faking this. He pleaded. You're just punishing me, right? Let's both take a step back and forget about our infidelities. How about we get back together? Staring at Ethan, who seemed like a completely different person, I nearly laughed at his audacity. You need to understand one thing, you're the only cheater here. Ryan and I are married. Sleeping together is completely normal. All right. All right. Don't get upset. Ethan wore an indulgent smile, watching me with feigned resignation. I came mainly to warn you, Ryan's company had its cash flow cut off. Be careful not to get used by him. He left abruptly after delivering this bombshell. I sat in my car for hours pondering his claim. Ryan's rushed business trip last week suddenly made sense, he'd barely packed. And I'd overheard him demanding someone hold them accountable during a phone call. The Thompsons had shady connections decades ago, though they've supposedly gone legit now. Who really knows what happens behind closed doors in these wealthy families? My throbbing headache from 3 all-nighters negotiating the overseas deal finally subsided after sealing the agreement. On impulse, I told my assistant to take my place on the upcoming business trip. Cowardly? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. Those days abroad were blissfully calm. I ignored Ryan's texts about delaying his return. When my plane landed, my assistant informed me the company car was waiting. It wasn't until we passed the turnoff to corporate headquarters that I realized something was wrong. Pull over, I need to stop at that convenience store. The masked driver met my eyes in the rearview mirror. MS. Emily. Please remain seated. His glacial tone froze my blood. Kidnapped. Fighting would be stupid. Were they targeting me personally? Or using me as leverage against Ryan? Our extravagant wedding had been very public. And you don't climb the corporate ladder without making enemies. All theories evaporated when Luna stepped into view. I almost pitied her. I've seen your records, gifted painter. Star student with a brilliant future. Is ruining your life over some man really worth it? The blade pressed against my cheek as the deranged art student hissed. You wouldn't understand. Perfect parents. Private school princess with the latest gadgets. My English lessons came from charity recordings of privileged girls like you. Middle school memories resurfaced, that pronunciation initiative where top students made educational videos for rural schools. Corporate-sponsored philanthropy wrapped in virtue signaling. They'd chosen me as the narrator. It turns out she had noticed me back then. Luna pressed her hands against my face, prying my eyelids open. See these calloused palms? Who'd believe they belong to a young woman? Her laughter turned bitter. Hardship breeds desperation. When those villagers left me half dead in the dirt, Ethan appeared like some damned saint. Her voice softened. This refined gentleman didn't flinch at my filth. Tended my wounds so gently, asking if it hurt. That's when I vowed to become the woman worthy of standing by his side. I struggled to reconcile pity with revulsion. The rest unfolded predictably: Luna's scholarship to our university, discovering my childhood bond with Ethan, first mimicking my mannerisms to catch his eye, then gradually revealing her true self until she'd fully ensnared him. With skills like yours, I remarked, you could have conquered anything. Men despise strong women. Luna sneered. Suddenly she lunged forward, teeth bared. But you, after Ethan ditched your wedding, after you turned tainted goods, why does he still chase you? What witchcraft do you wield? Because he's pathetic. The insult left my lips before I could reconsider. Instead of outrage, Luna froze, then erupted into hysterical laughter. Oh God. You're right. She wiped tears, shoulders shaking. Still, I've prepared entertainment. My throat tightened as she produced a remote. The floorboards beneath me splintered, revealing churning seawater below. The decrepit harbor warehouse groaned. One more button press, and the tide would claim me bound and helpless. Let's see who Ethan chooses, Luna crooned, edging toward the crumbling platform. Crashing waves muffled my curses. If I survived this melodramatic death trap, I'd murder Ethan myself. Where the hell was my assistant with the police? Release me, I bargained through gritted teeth. I'll vanish from Ethan's life. You'll be Mrs. Sullivan. Still playing queen? Luna scoffed. The remote hovered over the kill switch. If he picks me, you die. If he picks you, we both drown. Boots pounded across the dock. My pulse skyrocketed as the warehouse door burst open, only to plummet when Ethan's silhouette appeared. Wife! My whiplashing emotions steadied at Ryan's voice. There he stood in the doorway, my husband, breathless from running, tie askew and eyes blazing with protective fury. In that moment, Ryan's arrival felt like divine intervention. Ryan! My eyes lit up as I stared at the newcomer. The moment Ryan entered, Luna pressed the knife harder against my throat, screaming hysterically. A dozen bodyguards flanked him like shadowy sentinels. Make them leave. Get them out right now. If you harm one hair on her head, Ryan's voice dropped to lethal calm, I'll personally ensure your corpse gets dug up and whipped posthumously. Ethan stepped forward with furrowed brows. Luna, release Emily. I'll go to the police with you. I nearly choked on my rage. Was this idiot trying to escalate Luna's madness? Since when did his stupidity become my burden? True to form, Luna's blade bit deeper. My head jerked backward as searing pain shot through my nerves. Across the room, Ryan's eyes burned crimson. Without warning, he spun and delivered a brutal kick to the driver. The 6-foot-tall brute instantly curled into fetal position, forehead glistening with instant sweat. Luna's face turned ashen. Mr. Thompson, didn't I play matchmaker for you and Emily? This is how you treat your Cupid. Worthless. Ryan shot me a reassuring glance before turning glacial eyes toward Luna. Take him down. His security team moved with military precision. Ethan barely twitched before being pinned face down on concrete. Surprised? Ryan's polished Oxford tapped Ethan's jaw in mocking dominance. One night of debauchery, and suddenly the Sullivan family's dirty laundry gets aired. You embezzled to sabotage my funds, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Right? Crush me while playing White Knight to Emily. His words struck like sledgehammers through my foggy consciousness. Some predators wore human skin. They'd drain you dry, feast on your marrow, then discard the husk without blinking. Luna and we were both pawns in Ethan's chess game. I glanced sideways at Luna. Her gaze clung to Ethan with desperate devotion until her expression twisted. A sickening crack echoed as Ethan's arm dislocated, his muffled groan bouncing off warehouse walls. I may be scheming, Luna spat. But you're no saint. You sabotaged Emily's wedding by betting that woman. You knew about this kidnapping yet let it happen, all to play hero. How's your love any purer than mine? Doubts I'd suppressed resurfaced. My tracker required top-level clearance. Yet Ryan found me faster than police. But I stayed silent, watching a guard inch closer. One more step, and Luna would be restrained. But Ethan had noticed the step. He shouted, "Luna! Press the button!" Luna was on the half-submerged plank. One press and she'd fall into the sea with me. Ethan clearly didn't care whether she lived or died. But Luna, already deranged, obeyed without hesitation. I gasped instinctively, choking on seawater. The waves battered me deeper underwater. Before submerging, I saw the terror in Ryan's eyes. My lungs burned at their breaking point. I felt death approaching as my life flashed before my eyes. A scene emerged: a dilapidated house surrounded by chaos and noise. A teenage boy in blue and white school uniform stood quietly amidst the squalor. His clean-cut appearance contrasted with the sorrow in his eyes as he gazed at the frail old woman on the bed. My heart softened. I approached and patted his shoulder. The vision shifted to a hospital corridor. The same teenager now sat slumped on waiting room chairs, face buried in hands radiating despair. When doctors said we did everything, he looked up, revealing the youthful features of Ryan. Our paths had crossed long before I realized. I'd simply forgotten. In high school, my best friend gossiped about the Thompson family acknowledging an illegitimate son. How he'd driven away his birth mother seeking reunion to curry favor. I'd dismissed these stories. Now I understood it was all him. Through fading consciousness, I saw a figure dive into the churning waves. My vision blurred beyond recognition. When lips met mine sharing breath, I recognized Ryan's familiar scent. Blinding white walls assaulted my eyes upon waking. I shut them against the glare until adjusted. The door creaked open as someone settled by my bed. "Emily," came the voice. "3 days asleep? Keep this up and you'll rival a hibernating bear." Ryan lifted my hand to his stubbled cheek. I mentally cursed him with every insult I knew. Doctors threatened to shave your head bald for brain scans if you slept past 4 days. He continued. Ryan feigned sorrow. "You cherish these locks more than me. But don't worry, bald or not. I'd still adore you." My eyes snapped open. "You wouldn't dare." I hissed. "The act's over?" His teasing grin revealed the ruse. All tests were completed during admission. He confessed. I glared at Ryan, who simply chuckled. Then he gathered me into an embrace both tender and solemn. "Thank God you're safe," he murmured into my hair. The tremor in his voice betrayed post-traumatic fear as his arms encircled my waist. My anger dissolved in the warmth of his hold. What's a girl to do when someone risks their life diving into stormy seas for you? They're worth keeping around. He explained Luna's body was never recovered from the sea. Ethan faced sentencing for embezzlement and kidnapping charges. Like dominoes falling, numerous other crimes surfaced during Ethan's investigation. I'm afraid this is where I'll be stuck for the rest of my life. The accounts Ryan and Luna designed together still need settling. After recovering my health, I moved in with my parents. From then on, Ryan's 2-point daily routine gained an extra stop, guarding my doorstep every evening after work. Mom gave me a light slap on the back of the head. "Stop sitting cross-legged. What proper lady sits like that?" She chided while settling beside me. "Your father and I think Ryan's decent." Ruthless methods can be reassuring. "Don't screw this up." I popped a strawberry into her mouth before she could continue. She remained oblivious about Ryan and Luna. No need to enlighten her. Let's face it, Ryan messed up. But I'm no saint either. I ignored early suspicions for personal gain. That overseas client deal? Secured through Ryan's connections. but maintaining appearances matters. If I don't act up when I should I just wait to become a breeding machine? My hand drifted to my abdomen, retrieving a medical report from my bag. I declared, "Don't worry. He's trapped." Mom snatched the document, her smile widening with each line. Abandoning decorum, she hollered, "Old Johnson, your daughter's pregnant." Dragging Ryan inside, she briefed him en route. His barely contained excitement faltered when he saw me. "Wife. Stop right there." I met his gaze as Mom disappeared upstairs, leaving us alone. "I wasn't planning to forgive you. But for the baby's sake, let's try living like normal spouses without marriage certification." Ryan's mental gears visibly jammed. "Why? Property can be pre-napped. But if you hit me after marriage, it's domestic violence, harder to prove. No certificate means any strike counts as assault. Severe enough? That's homicide. Our families have equal influence, no power imbalance here." "Well, fine." Ryan surrendered. "Coming home now?" I nodded, pushing further would be excessive. That night, I bid my parents farewell. Pregnancy proved brutal, morning sickness, leg cramps, bloating. Worst were the uncontrollable mood swings. Mom later told me Ryan lost weight from my constant demands. During delivery, the 6'3" man collapsed in tears hearing mother and daughter are safe. The kicker? While I recovered effortlessly, he developed postpartum depression. One late night, I woke to find Ryan sitting by the bed, silently crying. I automatically reached for the water and medication, coaxing him to take the pills. During the day, I accompanied him to therapy appointments. For the first 2 months, we were practically attached at the hip. We rarely saw the baby during that period. The mere sight of her would make Ryan break down in tears. Though part of me found it amusing, my heart melted every time. Later, he named our daughter Wish. "May every wish come true," he said. When I asked why he didn't give her his last name, he kissed my forehead. I didn't endure the hard part. Neither the credit nor the hardship belongs to me. He pulled me close, switching off the bedside lamp. "Sleep now." His arms stayed wrapped around me as darkness settled. Tomorrow would be another day.